Did you know in Avengers Endgame, when Hulk puts on the newly created Infinity Gauntlet, he's in enormous pain. Though Thor says to get it off of him, Cap says to keep it on. This echoes back to Captain America, the First Avenger, when Steve Rogers was in pain during the procedure that made him a super soldier. Similarly to this, when everyone tried to cut the power of the procedure, Steve insists that he carry on. Did you know in Deadpool 2, when Wade Wilson goes to Blind Al's apartment and opens up one of her floorboards, there's a package labeled Cure for Blindness. Wade did tell Blind Al about this in the first Deadpool before he headed off to fight Ajax, but the delivery sounded sarcastic and for a quick laugh. He also mentioned about there being 116 kilos of cocaine there too, which is actually what he goes to retrieve in the sequel. Did you know in Spider-Man No Way Home, a certain shot alludes to a moment from Sam Raimi's original Spider-Man trilogy, when we get our first look at Norman Osborn in the alley, and he's trying to resist the Green Goblin's urges. The moment in which he smashes the Goblin mask and runs away is reminiscent of the scene from Spider-Man 2, where Peter gives up being Spider-Man and leaves his suit in the trash. This in itself is derived from the cover of the one-issue storyline, Spider-Man No More. Did you know in Spider-Man No Way Home, the Green Goblin pulls an old trick, but is more successful this time around. When facing off with Tom Holland's Peter and Aunt May, he summons his glider and has it fly at May from behind, which fatally wounds her and causes her death. This is the same trick Goblin tries in the first big screen Spider-Man movie, except in that scenario, the Spidey sense of Tobey Maguire's Peter has him backflip and avoid the collision, which ironically kills Goblin himself. Did you know in The Amazing Spider-Man, it's the first time that one of Spidey's live-action movie villains ends up in jail as opposed to being killed or still being at large? In Spider-Man, Green Goblin is impaled and killed by the blades of his own glider. In Spider-Man 2, Doc Ock drowns with his own machine after realizing the error of his ways. In Spider-Man 3, Eddie Brock and Venom perish together thanks to a Goblin bomb, while Sandman flies off into the sky after Peter forgives him for his uncle's death. Did you know in Black Panther, there's a moment that references a historical African figure? When Killmonger challenges T'Challa to a battle for the throne and position of Wakanda's king, you'll notice that he breaks the spear he's holding to make it more of a handheld weapon to fight with. This is a nod to African warrior Shaka Zulu, one of history's most famous military leaders. Shaka never understood why the Zulus would throw away spears in battle. Because of this, he developed a short stabbing spear that he could use on multiple enemies and use more efficiently. Did you know in Avengers Infinity War, it's the third movie in which Rocket Raccoon is shown an interest in a prosthetic limb, shown when he tries to bribe Bucky for his metal arm, and when he's shown to have an eye in his possession which he can give to Thor. The first is in 2014's Guardians of the Galaxy, when Rocket dupes Peter Quill into getting a fellow inmate's prosthetic leg in order to use it in their prison escape. In the same movie, he claims to need someone's prosthetic eye in the plan to attack Ronan, which Quill quickly shoots down. The second is in 2017's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, when Groot keeps getting confused and bringing Rocket and Yondu the wrong object they need to escape, and at one point brings a prosthetic eye. Rocket says to leave it with them because of how funny he'll find it knowing its owner will wake up not knowing where his eye is.